Welcome back to Impossibly Unremarkable, a podcast hosted by myself, Jonathan Butts, and my longtime friend, co-host, and mi hermano, Elliott Marks.
That is right, and today we are just two sleepy boys trying to get our Z's, wishing you would sing us a lullaby so we can go... Isn't that right?
That might be the most accurate snore I've ever heard in my life.
Thanks, dude.
That's incredible.
I just did that. I don't know where that came from.
And very relevant. I'm quite sleepy today.
I know you are. You came in,
quite sleepy.
Bags under your eyes, eyes sunken in like you just got off a bender, and you're just looking disheveled today, must I say. Disheveled.
It's funny because I made a conscious effort last night to go to bed on time.
Yeah.
And it bit me in the ass.
Bit you in the ass. I mean, just goes to show, those things don't always work out. I feel like when I go to bed extra early, I wake up rested, so I don't know what your problem is.
I think I probably have sleep apnea.
Oh.
And also, just as of late, I've been really fucking up my sleep schedule. Since I moved into my new apartment, I've had several nights where I just stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
On like a work night?
Not on a work night.
Oh.
But I've had I've had some work nights where it's 1 in the morning, but on Friday night, Saturday night, 3 or 4 in the morning, which is not routine. That was a college Jonathan, high school Jonathan, post-college, postgraduate Jonathan.
It's real what they say about getting older. I always thought that was a wise tale. I'm I'm stronger than that. I'll be fine. I can continue these terrible habits that I have.
Yeah.
And I can't stay up late. If I stay up late on a Friday night, I'm tired on Monday. I can't do it. I can't stay up late anymore.
Yeah, and here's the specific reason that I was staying up late.
Okay, yeah, let me know. I was going to ask.
I think it was Friday night. Yeah, it was Friday night. So I'm playing Madden. You know how Madden has this mode called Face of the Franchise?
Yes, I know it well.
I made my own quarterback. I was so excited. I started with the Vikings. I crushed it. Of
course.
Started off rough. I think I lost the first 2 games, then we found our stride.
Yeah.
We went a perfect 15-0 after that.
Wow.
Crushed the playoffs, won the Super Bowl.
Incredible.
Midway through the season, I get a contract offer extension with the Vikings. I said no because,
what?
I got to get the bag.
That is crazy.
I got to get the bag. I proved myself.
Yeah.
MVP, Super Bowl winner. I crushed it. And so, I get, and it's weird. I'm used to playing MLB The Show. You'll only get offers from teams that are interested in you.
Yeah.
Whereas in Madden, every team.
I don't know why they do
to
that.
do that.
I think that's an update in the most recent Madden too. Is if you want to be traded or you don't sign the contract, you can just pick a team and it'll tell you what they're offering you, but all the teams are offering you something.
Yeah.
Which is pretty silly.
Every team offered me something. Most of the offers were dog shit. Most of the teams already had a quarterback.
Right.
So there was no need for me.
They don't need you.
So I chose the Steelers.
Wow.
Just because they offered me the most money. It doesn't matter. The money means nothing to you. And then so I signed with the Steelers, and then I go into the preseason, and boom, I'm right back with the Vikings.
Really?
Yeah, apparently there's this bug or a glitch with the game that's existed since Madden 23 came out, has never been fixed, where there's a literal bug where if you sign a contract with someone at the end of your first year, you get stuck on the team that you were first with.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I haven't had that. I did run into a bug with Madden. Similar, it was the Face of the Franchise thing, except I had spent years with the same franchise, won multiple Super Bowls. I put hours into this. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to move on. My fictional career, I need a change. I need to go to a new team. I sign with a new team, and then the game glitches out, kicks me out of the mode, and now every time I try to go back into that same game, it doesn't load. I can't reopen it. I can't get my franchise back.
That's one of the glitches I was seeing. I saw one person complaining that every time he signed a contract with someone, that the new team would trade him back to the old team in the offseason. I've seen ones where it'll create duplicate players. So there'll be a Jonathon on the Vikings and then also a Jonathon on the Steelers.
That's so wild.
The game is so broken.
Why can't they just fix it?
But I literally stayed up till 4:30 because I'm like, I want to see what kind of cool offers I get.
Yeah.
No cool offers. It's literally every team is like, yeah, we'll take you.
Sure.
And then I'm just back with the fucking Vikings.
Who do you think you are? A rookie? Yeah, just because you won the Super Bowl.
But that's the thing.
Won the MVP. You think you deserve...
You're not a rookie.
What do you mean?
In Madden 23, in Face of the Franchise, it makes you you're automatically a 5-year vet.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Dead serious.
I don't remember that aspect of it.
Dead serious. You're a 5-year vet, and you have a fresh start with a new team.
I don't remember that.
That's how it is.
Well, Interesting.
But speaking of the Vikings, I just saw
Yes.
this and you'll like this. So I guess gambling.com, I've never heard of them, but they gamble, involved in bets. They comprised a list after analyzing each team's fan base and their social media. They created this list of like the most angry fan base. Guess who's at top?
Are we number one?
We're number one.
We're number one angry?
Yeah, we're the most
Really?
we're the most angry fan base.
Just
based
because
on
of...
most like negative, most angry. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I get the negative part because, I mean, we have no hope.
Yeah.
You know, we've never won anything. We're the winningest team to never win a Super Bowl. It's sad, you know, and I don't think we're ever going to get there. I really don't. I would love to see it, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Ever, or just like in your lifetime?
Ever. I mean, by the time... No, I mean, the NFL is going to be gone anyways eventually because of like CTE and controversy.
I don't know if like it's been public knowledge that these guys are just going to drop like flies a couple years after playing, and it's still happening.
Or the Minnesota Vikings will just get sold and they'll move somewhere else and then I'll never see them. That's probably more likely.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Like 20, 30 years down the line, they just don't exist anymore.
But this website broke down like by social media platform.
Yeah.
And out of all the social media platforms, including like Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, what do you think is like the most toxic or the most negative?
Reddit.
Wrong.
Really?
I believe ours was like Twitter, and it was like
Really?
like 30-some%.
That's interesting because I feel like I'm on Vikings Twitter. And I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be that angry. I mean, they've got hot takes, but a lot of it's positive. Like a lot of the like analysts or like Vikings insiders are like pretty positive about the Vikings usually. I mean, obviously they have to be.
I think it's more your everyday regular Joes that are just spouting off negativity.
Yeah. We need more positive.
Can you guess the least negative team?
The Patriots.
They actually were one of the least negative. The least negative, I think, was the Jaguars.
Really?
Yeah.
They're just fun.
Yeah. They are
I
fun.
love the Jags. Duval! That's like their thing because they're Duval County.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I like the Jags. The Jags are fun. They're like cool. Their owner has like a fun mustache. So like that's really cool. And I don't know. They're just a fun team. They're a fun team. And we are just a sad sack of a franchise. But one day we'll get there, hopefully. Maybe. Probably not.
Depressing.
Yeah.
What did you do this week?
What did I do this week? Well, I went to another baby class. I can talk a little bit about that if we want.
I'd love to hear about that.
So that was fun. I learned a lot about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding? Yeah, it's actually crazy how that works. So, like, there's like little muscles in the breasts, right? And they create the milk. So they send signal. There's this like, okay, so there's this thing, like you're always wondering like, oh man, like how much milk is in there? So your brain, basically the breasts are connecting to the brain, telling them how much milk is needed, right? So the more you breastfeed, the more milk you're going to have. So they actually set a little trick. So like if you need a little extra, right? You just like, after you're done breastfeeding the baby, which there's different holds you can do. You can do the football hold, Heisman, or, you know, put them at different angles, whatever. You can play around with it. It's kind of fun. But, so, whatever I was saying about the breast milk. So, I got sidetracked by the football thing. So, a trick to make more of it, because sometimes you need a little extra, you know, pump a little more, put it in the fridge, save it for later, you know, the good stuff. But if you, after you're done breastfeeding, you just kind of squeeze out a little bit more after each time, then that tells your brain you need extra breast milk. So then the boobs will get fuller and they'll pump out more milk the next time.
Interesting.
Also, did you know that a baby, when they're born, their stomach is the size of a marble?
Ew.
And then after a few weeks, it's a little bit bigger. And then I think by like 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that, whatever. A few weeks after that, it's the size of a ping pong ball.
What size is your stomach currently?
I think mine is about the size of a cantaloupe. I don't know. I made that up. I have no fucking clue.
Did they tell you that?
No. But so, yeah, a lot of learning about breastfeeding. It was funny. They had like, So we worked on like diaper changing and swaddling, which is very useful. That was the first time I ever did that, and changing diapers isn't that hard. Apparently, I thought it would be a lot harder. It's pretty easy.
I think I've changed like 1 or 2 diapers in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes it difficult is it can be gross. But
Yeah. And they're like moving around. So like we did it on a little, so they gave every couple a little doll baby. So, and it was funny because they gave us this little doll that was a baby, and they were like, so we're going to hold these like they're real babies the whole class. Like, you have to hold it like it's a baby. If you go to the bathroom, you have to take the baby with you. You have to carry it. Like, you have to act like this is a real baby. Don't drop it.
Is there like a ramification for dropping it?
They whip you. No, they didn't get that far. And thankfully, nobody dropped their babies, so that was good. But you had to like act like you're holding a real baby the whole time. I was switching positions because at the beginning they were telling us like different positions to hold the baby in. So had to hold a doll for 4 hours, which was fun. And then, so we're doing like the diaper changing and the swaddling on this doll. So it was pretty easy. You know, I imagine if it's a real baby, they might be crying, they might be moving, they might be finicky, whatever. So, you know, pretty wild. But it was fun. It was very educational. Learned a lot about baby safety and how to take care of babies and what to expect. And a lot of it scared the shit out of me because there was one point where she was like, so like once your baby starts to develop like some of their like muscles and want to like roll over and stuff, they might like start to try to roll on their side or whatever. But sometimes newborns can accidentally do that, right? So they can roll onto their side and they can die. So if they're rolling onto their side, you have to move them back. But if they're a little bit older, they're starting to develop some of those muscles and they start rolling on their side, you still have to watch them because if they're fully swaddled and their arms aren't out, again, they will die. So if you just have to be on it. You just have to know that they're starting to roll over a little bit. I have to let at least one of their arms out of the swaddle, and then they have to sleep that way. Because if I don't, they'll die. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna kill this kid. They're gonna die. I don't.
I remember volunteering in the summers when I was in middle school at a family friend's daycare, and like part of being able to do that, I had to take some like required courses to learn about because there was. Like infants and toddlers and then like, 5, 6 up to like 10, 12-year-olds. But because we had babies, I had to like learn about SIDS.
Yes.
And shaken baby syndrome. And shaken baby syndrome is like one thing. Like just don't shake the baby. Boom.
Yeah.
Easy. SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. That's fucking terrifying.
That's terrifying because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just happens sometimes.
Not super common, but like still something that
it's
can happen.
very, very uncommon.
Very uncommon.
They preface that, making us aware that it is very uncommon, but they don't know why it happens, and sometimes it just happens, which is terrifying. Like, it's just out of my control. Like, what the heck? What the hell? What is going on? I don't know. But, what else was I going to say? It was like, like the shaken baby thing. So, like, obviously don't shake your baby.
Don't shake your baby, guys.
Don't. If there's anything you take from this podcast today, don't shake babies. But she did say most times this actually happens on accident. So basically what'll happen is you're like sleep deprived, you're stressed, and your baby's screaming at you. So your body has like this stress induced like fight or flight response to that situation. So sometimes when that happens accidentally, people will just like, I need to get away from you. And they'll set the baby down too hard, or they'll like thrust the baby towards whatever, the crib, or to set it down, but they like, it's their fight or flight. So they're flighting, right? So they're throwing their baby down and it's like kind of, and then you know how that works. But
yeah, I mean, I imagine most of it is like stress induced. No one's like going out of their way to be like,
well, I would hope not.
Yeah.
But
hopefully.
I don't know, man. Class was very informative and terrifying, and I'm ready to be a dad.
But I have a question.
Yes.
This is something I've always wondered. Is this a class that you guys just go out of your way to sign up for?
Yes.
Not mandatory?
No.
Not required by the state?
There are no mandatory classes or prerequisites to having a child. Any dumbass out there can just have a kid.
Maybe a problem.
These classes you have to pay for them. They're put on by third-party companies that specialize in putting on these classes. So you have to find them, sign up for them, pay for them, and attend. And the ones we've been going to are like 4 hours. It's like 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on a weekend.
Brutal hours.
Yeah, we've taken two of them. And honestly, it's worth it. Like, it's like a little expensive, but in terms of the actual information you get, to feeling like it helps you feel like you're actually like a little bit ready, right? Because if you're going in cold to just having a kid, like I can't even imagine. Like the first class alone, just telling you like what to expect at the hospital was nice, which you can get some of that on the internet too. But like it's different in a classroom setting where it's almost like you're attending a course. Like it felt like a college course on babies.
Now here's a question: there were other dads there, presumably.
Yes.
Did you feel like you were the most handsome one there?
I felt like I was the youngest one there, and I almost guaranteed was. Like
Yeah.
all the other dads, I mean, most handsome, probably.
I thought so.
But I felt so young. Like some of those dudes, I'm like, you're like 35. Like, and I am a child. I am a literal teen parent about to embark on a journey I'm not ready for. But yeah, most people, it was their first kid. I mean, I'm guessing most people, if you're going to class, it's your first kid.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't go back unless you like really. goofed
Unless
it
you
the
really
first time.
messed up the first one, yeah, and you're like, man, I got to go back, take that course again. I think I failed the first
So
time.
do you guys have more? I'm assuming it's like one class that's kind of said.
No, so those were two separate classes.
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, there's other classes you can. We might do like an online sleep class specifically on sleeping, like baby sleeping. I don't know. Megan wants to sign up for it.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, let's do it, whatever. And then Megan has signed up for like after he's born, like a mom's class. Like she'll get together, she'll bring the baby and get together with all the moms, and then they'll talk about like stuff and learn more about taking care of them, whatever. I don't know what they talk about. There's also a dad's class, which I might be interested in taking. Not for the education, but for the social. I feel like I need to meet other dads.
I knew it. Elliott's gonna strictly have dad friends.
Yeah.
I would be out in the cold.
Well, I mean, if you guys would just, get on with it and just have your kids or just like have an accident or something.
No, I'm just gonna adopt like a 17-year-old.
He's out of the house in a year.
I feel like that could be fun.
A 17-year-old?
Yeah, like assuming they're like past the, the grungy, like angsty phase.
What do you mean? 17 is like prime that phase. I just exited my angst phase.
You think so?
Yeah, just last year. I still listen to pop punk sometimes.
You just threw away the eyeshadow.
Yeah, no, I just stopped, dyeing my hair black and wearing dark skinny jeans.
I feel like my angst phase was like 13 to 14.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you had a real one.
You don't think so?
No.
I didn't really listen to pop punk.
I was young. I was listening to pop punk, going to shows. I pierced my own ears.
That's true.
I was a fucking wild card, dude.
Yeah, man. You suck.
And I mean, my son will probably be the same. I'll be like, I know where you've been. I know. I get it. I did the same.
I'm excited for you, man.
It'll be good. It'll be fun. And soon I'll be hanging out with only dads, and it'll just be me and my new dad friends, and I'll start a new podcast called Dads.
Neil, you and I will stick together. That's strictly
Just
for him.
kidding. Of course, I will stick with you guys. Although I feel like our friend group does need something to shake up. I feel like it's getting a little stale. Somebody needs to have a kid or, have some life crisis that we can all like come together for. We're getting too boring.
A couple people have had kids in our friend group.
Yeah. But they live too far away. I don't see them often
That's
enough.
true.
I need somebody who's right here, right now. I love those people. They're great, but they're hours away. We don't see them on a regular basis. We see them as much as we can, but I need you. I need Neil. I need one of my brothers. I need somebody to like have some life-altering experience.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Can I be called Uncle Jonathan?
Yes.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
What about Grandpappy Jonathan?
Gramp. Maybe. That might confuse him as to what your relation is. Actually, right now, Megan's parents are gone this week. So they're in Mexico on some like vacation or whatever. And so we were joking, like, if Megan goes into labor, like, we need backup. Like, we need somebody there to support us because they won't be there. So I made the comment, I'm like, well, maybe like Jonathan and Neil could just like be our support. So will you be in the delivery room if she gives birth this week?
Absolutely.
She won't let you, but
What? What? Who else would she have? I'm the best.
I don't know. She'll call somebody.
I've been part of so many births.
Really?
Yeah, just the father, never in the room, but
Never seen the kid, but
of course not. Come on.
I was joking. I was like, yeah, I mean, if I think best thing to do is not tell them. Like, if you give birth this week, let's just not tell them. Wait till they come back, and then we'll invite them over, and then we'll just have a baby here. And we'll be like, "What? Here he is. He's here."
It'd be like almost a month early, right?
Yeah, it'd be pretty. I think she's 34 weeks tomorrow, so it'd be early. It could happen, but it would be a little bit early.
Yeah, like if I'm putting myself in the shoes of Jody and Steve.
Yeah.
If you found out like a day into your trip, there's no way they would like just stay, right?
I don't know.
They'd probably pack up and
Well, because it's a work trip, so it's not like it's like a work thing for Megan's dad. So like I think he might have to be down there with all those other work people. I don't know. I don't know if you could be like, well, my grandson is born. I'm flying back. Also, I don't know how much those flights cost.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like
But if anything was worth the cost of
Right.
a flight change, that
I mean, if it were me, I'd fly back.
But now I'm pulling for as long as Megan allows me there, or like
She won't.
maybe just in the hospital.
She-
just in the
No,
hospital.
no. I made the joke. I've already brought this up. She said, "Fuck no." They are not going to be in the operating or in the delivery room.
Yeah, I'd probably vomit. Being honest,
Yeah.
it's a pretty gross thing that happens.
You don't want to see my wife give birth?
No.
What?
I don't want to see anyone give birth.
What kind of a friend are you?
I mean, I'm not.
I would watch Emily give birth.
I'm sure you would. Fucking freak.
I was kidding. I won't. I'm sorry.
Nothing to forgive, my friend.
Okay, the other thing that happened this week, totally unrelated, totally shifting gears here. Lollapalooza dropped the lineup for Lollapalooza.
Who's in it?
Ooh, Kendrick is headlining.
Okay.
Actually, let me pull it up
Yeah.
because the lineup is good.
Better question: when is Lollapalooza? Where is Lollapalooza?
It is in Chicago. I've been once. So I've been one time. It was awesome. I got to see people we saw Ariana Grande. Cool, but the crowd was too much for me. It was too big. And there was this guy. Okay, sidebar. We saw Ariana Grande at Lollapalooza in 2019, 2018, something like that, whatever. I think it was 2019. But we're in this big crowd. I've never been in a crowd this big. This is Lollapalooza. It's in Chicago. They if you've never been, they basically block off the streets going into the main park with Buckingham Fountain. All that stuff is blocked off.
You're thinking of England, but keep going.
I think, whatever. So there's a ton of people. I don't know, 100,000 people probably there. The crowd is huge. She's the headliner. We're packed shoulder to shoulder. We are right next to every single person. You have no breathing room at all. And we're in the middle because Megan wanted to see Ariana Grande so bad. We got there early, sat through 3 hours of other people's sets, including Casey Musgraves or some shit. Whatever. Don't. And then, so we're in the biggest crowd I've ever been into. And this guy next to me, he's got to be wasted. And he's just screaming every lyric to Ariana Grande at the top of his lungs. And not only that, he's dancing. And again, we're shoulder to shoulder. We don't have room. He's whipping around all over the place, smacking me over and over again. And then he says stuff like this. And I feel like, for me, this was aimed at me because I didn't know enough Ariana Grande songs at the time. I mean, I knew her hits, but I didn't know the deep cuts, okay? I didn't know every single song on her set list. This guy screams, "If you don't know the words, get the fuck out of the crowd!" And I'm like, is he talking to me? Am I going to have to fight this guy? What is going on? Can't I just watch the show, brother?
Could you have taken him?
Probably.
Okay.
He was definitely taller than me, but he was kind of thin. I think I could have took him out. But I'm not a fighter, so I wouldn't have done that.
That's true. You're a lover.
But anyways, Lollapalooza is a lot of fun. That year we saw a lot of fun people. Denzel Curry, JID, and Joji. I saw Joji. That was fun.
What year was this?
I don't know, 2019 maybe.
Oh,
2020 maybe. No, not 2020 because that would have been pandemic.
2020.
Might have been 2019 because I think it was my first year of working.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah, but it was fun. But This year, they've got Kendrick Lamar, Billie Eilish, their headliners. There's some other headliners I don't care about, like Lana Del Rey. I mean, she's good, but whatever. There's people like Joey Badass, JID, freaking... Sorry, the font's really small, so I'm trying to read it.
Yeah, like festival posters are always horrible.
Oh, I know.
Because they're
I'm
trying to cram
400
400 different bands and artists into a single page.
Here,
Is
I've
Lil
got
Yachty
a list.
gonna be there?
Pusha T is there. Lil Yachty is there.
What?
Breakins is there. Destroy Lonely is there. Alex G is there. Yeah. Odessa is there.
You like a lot of these artists.
Yeah, I know. We were saying, so it's in August. It is August 3rd through the 6th. So they haven't released what days each artist is on. So like they'll break it up into days. Like there will be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you kind of got to pick one day if you don't want to pay the full like weekend thing, which we wouldn't. But we were saying like, let's just go. Let's go for a day. Bring the baby.
No way.
Bring the baby. We'll go to Lollapalooza. It'll be fun. It'll be his first concert.
What do you do with the baby during the concert?
Well, Megan was like, well, we could invite my parents. They could just watch him and then we could go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do that.
Or like couldn't they just stay in Minnesota?
They could.
I feel like that might be.
Well, I want to bring him.
All right.
His first big trip.
2 minutes ago, we were shoulder to shoulder. No room to breathe.
Okay, well, I wouldn't bring him to the headliner, all right? He wouldn't be there for Kendrick Lamar.
Or maybe because you've had a baby, people will be like willing to
Ooh,
respect
yeah.
your
Ooh, you're right.
privacy.
Maybe if I have a baby strapped to my chest, people will leave us alone.
But you definitely need to get him some headphones
Yeah.
to protect his precious eardrums.
No, okay. Don't call CPS. We're not going to bring him to Lollapalooza. All right, that's a joke. We're not bringing him. He's not going there. It's not a good place for a baby. There's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of sweaty, dirty people. Last time I was there, I saw the weirdest couple I've ever seen. There was this girl. She's not wearing a shirt. She's got 2 X's on her nipples that were made out of tape. Cool, whatever you want to do. But the guy she was with was at least 30 years older than her. He had to have been in his 50s. And he was like right behind her, like up on her, right? So she's in front of him. He's like holding her, but he's like hands all over the place, right? The whole time we're watching Casey Musgraves. And I don't know why you'd be doing this during Casey Musgraves, but they're just all over each other. They're like making out and like feeling each other in the crowd, and they're smoking a joint too. And I'm like, what is happening? Is that your dad? Who is this? Because at first they weren't doing that. And I was trying to read these people, because you see like a couple in public, you see people in public, you're trying to like what's their story? Why are they here? Like, what are they doing? And then they started making out, and I was like, oh, that's not her dad, because she looked really young. She looked like she was at least like tops 20. She had to have been like pretty young, and he was at least 50. So the age gap alone was weird, but do what you want to do. Hopefully it was legal. But just a weird scene, and I wouldn't want to expose my baby to that. Not at that young of age. That's too young.
Yeah, that's more like an age 3.
You got to be at least 3, 4, 5 before you can witness something like
before
that.
you're allowed to go to Lollapalooza.
But yeah, my wife brought it up. She's like, we should go. And I was like, yeah, let's bring the baby, sure. But yeah, we'll see if that actually happens. Probably not. But hey, shout out Lollapalooza. I would love to go again one day. But yeah, that's what's going on with me this week.
You got some recommendations for us? Because I've got a great recommendation.
I've got a great recommendation. You go first.
All right. So this is probably strictly for the people that live in Minnesota.
Okay.
Because it can be pretty hard to go to this place if you don't live in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, there is a restaurant called Bombay Pizza Kitchen. Elliott, do you like pizza?
I do.
Do you like Indian food?
I do.
Have you ever had something that combined both of those things?
I never dreamed that could happen.
Oh, go to my car, open my passenger side door.
What's in your car?
I'll just my leftovers.
Oh, hey.
So this place, we'll get it for work lunch sometimes. It's called Bombay Pizza Kitchen in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Bombay.
It's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible. First of all, the owner, the staff, they're like the nicest, sweetest people ever. But basically, they do pizza, they do wings, but it's all like Indian.
Ooh.
So my go-to is this butter masala chicken pizza.
Wow.
It's fucking incredible.
Wait, so they're Indian. It's Indian pizza.
Indian pizza.
Like I can get like a chicken tikka masala pizza.
Yes.
I can get like a paneer, tikka masala. I'm just trying to think of other ones. I'm like, wait.
White people talking about Indian food.
There's other ones I like. I just can't think of them right now.
No, like I'm in the same bucket. Like the two things I get when granted I haven't like gone very far into it. But
Yeah.
almost always like if I'm ordering from an Indian place, butter chicken,
Yeah.
chicken tikka masala.
I've been trying, because there's an Indian place we go to all the time. I've been trying to like pick something new off the menu every time we go to like kind of feel out something else. But that's crazy. They put it on pizza and it's
really
good.
It's super, super good. They also do like bowls too, if you're into that thing, like curry
I love bowls.
They do like regular pizza, like if you're not super adventurous.
Right.
They do wings. I've never had the wings, but they look good. I mean, it's an all around great time.
Wow.
So that's my recommendation.
You haven't taken me there yet.
You
haven't taken me on a date.
I'd love to go there.
Bring
with
me.
You.
Come on.
I feel like you'd be like, no, the carbs.
That's true. I have been off the rails with my diet. I'm supposed to be cutting, and I keep snacking. It's a problem. I don't know. I feel like I'm stress eating sometimes, and I needed to get back to my meditations.
I think now
my whole life's going to shit.
Now more than ever, I think it is like perfectly acceptable if like any part of you is like, you know what, I need to eat a little bit to cope with some stress.
Maybe.
Because you're entering what I would arguably say is the second most stressful chapter of your life.
What's the most stressful?
Starting a podcast.
The part of life that everybody seems to go through. It's podcasting and childbirth, but podcasting takes the cake. It's pretty stressful.
There are more kids than podcasts out there.
I mean, the amount of minutes and hours I've spent just thinking about this podcast. What am I going to say? What did I say last time? I'm biting my nails. Oh my goodness. I'm spiraling.
Exactly. This isn't easy for us guys.
No. We do this for you, not for us.
Quit taking it for granted.
No, this is so much stress on my life. I've probably taken 20 years off of my life just doing this podcast. It's too much.
And will it have been worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything for you guys out there. Anyone watching, anyone listening.
All right, what's your
We love
recommendation?
you.
What's your recommendation? What do you got?
We love you.
Okay.
My recommendation of the week is a show that is currently on Amazon, and it's also a book. So this show is based on a book, and it's based on, I want to say loosely, but it's pretty much based on Fleetwood Mac. Have you heard of this show?
I thought you were about to ask if I've heard of the band. No, I haven't.
Have you heard of Fleetwood Mac?
I have.
So the
Chains.
show...
The Chain. Chains?
Yeah,
The Chain?
yeah, you got it.
I know one song.
So the show is called Daisy Jones and the Six. Same title of the book.
Okay.
It is, like I said, based on Fleetwood Mac. So it starts off following this small band with this lead singer, Billy Dunn. And they're trying to make it in the music industry. And then there's a side story of this woman named Daisy Jones. And she is sort of like a what's her name from Fleetwood Mac? I know her name.
I don't know. That's the thing.
Stevie Nicks. She's like the Stevie
okay.
Nicks type character, right? So there's a point in the story where they meet and then they start making music together and there's like relationship drama and like it's fun because the music's good. And I looked into the show, right? So because we were wondering, like, they sound good. Like, is it actually these actors? So apparently they filmed it at the start of COVID, right? So they originally were only supposed to do like a 20-hour, maybe a week-long like lesson on music, and then they would like go from there. But because of COVID, they had to set back filming, and then all the actors were in a bubble together, and they got to learn how to play music. So in the show, they are all actually playing and singing and doing the music themselves, which I think adds to the show and makes it even better.
That is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. The music's pretty good. It's not like amazing. It's not as good as like A Star Is Born. You know, it's not on that level, but it's pretty close. It's pretty good for actors doing music. And the story's fun. There's a lot of drugs, a lot of partying, a lot of drama, and it's awesome. And I have been so into this show that I started reading the book.
Oh.
Yes.
Why?
How many books do you think I've read in the last year?
2.
One book. And it was over a cruise because I had nothing else to do. But Yeah, so I've started reading this book. It's good. It's a little different than the show. So if you like the show, read the book because it's a little bit different, gives you a little more detail. It's a lot of fun. Also, because it's based on Fleetwood Mac, it's based in the 70s. So it's like 70s rock and roll, which I am obsessed with. I already have a fascination with these 1970s, and I already listened to some of that. But ever since I've watched this show and started reading this book, I've dove in deep. I spent like 3 hours of my workday today listening to the Grateful Dead.
You a Deadhead now?
I don't know, maybe. I've been listening to Pink Floyd. I've been listening to everything, man. I've been diving in deep. If anybody has any recommendations out there for any other 1970s rock I can get into, please let me know. I've been listening to King Crimson. Have you heard of them?
Nope.
Oh,
Wait.
I've been listening to David Bowie.
Who?
Yeah. But I'd love to dive in deeper.
That sounds good. Well, listen to the man. Go find the new show Davy Jones on
Davy Jones Locker. No, Jay-Z Jones and the Six. Please. If there's anything that you take from this podcast, and I know at the beginning I said don't shake babies, but the second thing you should take from this podcast is this show is worth your time.
I've just been sitting on that Davy Jones joke for about 5 minutes.
I figured you were just sitting there stewing. You're a stewer.
I am a stewer.
Yeah.
By my count, it is time for question of the day.
Question of the day.
And it's your responsibility this time, so you better not have fucked it up.
Okay. Question of the day. It's a simple question. Do you think that people are more inherently good or evil?
It's a good question. I think evil. I think people are
Really?
inherently evil.
Just like that?
Yeah.
You think they're evil?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And maybe evil's not the right word for it.
Okay.
Because evil, you get like a very kind of dark, scary connotation with it.
Yeah.
I think people are inherently self-concerned.
Sure. So inherently selfish is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Which can be construed to be evil.
Maybe. I get what you're saying. But in terms of good and evil, when you put those two against each other, are people more good or evil? I know it's kind of a tough question.
Evil. I'm still gonna
You're citing
still
evil.
Gonna stick with evil
because selfishness is evil.
I'm
just trying to get where you're coming from here, man. So I'm on the side that people are good, and here's where I'm at. You're telling me that my son is going to be born evil.
No.
He's born evil. He's got evil tendencies.
I think he's born neutral.
Okay.
But he's probably born he's born selfish.
So people are born neutral.
He's
and
I need to eat.
But
I need to shit. Like those are his two modes. That's what a baby. And when you grow and you like become more of yourself, more of a person, what you're concerned about grows. So the things you care about expand.
I would argue.
Have you heard of the Stanford Prison Experiment?
I have heard of the Stanford Prison Experiment. Let's go over it.
It's a pretty good example of people being fucking evil. So I don't have the exact details, but basically there was a scientific experiment in which a group of people were given the power to effectively torture.
Right. If I remember correctly, there was like a set of people who were prisoners and a set of people who were guards. So the guards had the power and the prisoners did not, right?
Yep. And like most of the guards chose to like inflict pain upon the prisoners. I don't think there was any like actual like torture involved.
There may have been.
There could have been.
I don't remember. Could be.
I thought it was more of they were led to believe that they were doing something that.
Right.
And obviously, I'm doing a shite job of explaining it. But like the thing to take out of that is that those guys are pretty fucked up, and they weren't just they didn't like handpick real life prisoners. You know, they didn't pick evil people. They just picked ordinary ass citizens.
Yeah. No, that's a good argument. That's you're swinging me. You're swinging me. But I still think like people are more inherently good. I feel like people want to do good because I get it. Your whole selfishness argument, but at the same time, a lot of those selfishness things are just based on our own like primal urge to survive. Like you're like a baby.
Yeah, that's
you want to eat. You want to shit. You want to be helped. You want people to help you.
Evil's the right word.
Right.
Because a lot of it is just primal. Because
Sure.
if we took away society and took away like the modern luxuries
Yeah.
and got down to like everyone is surviving for food, we
Right.
would quickly find out that people are very selfish and that people
Yeah.
are going to be fighting and killing each other for food. But that's just survival. That's
Right.
how it used to be. It's not how it is anymore. So I think we've gotten very comfortable. I think it's a lot easier to just be like a good, kind person.
Sure.
But if we got down to brass tacks, people are evil.
Okay.
War,
Yeah.
drugs.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Drugs are evil?
No, drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I think now you might be onto something here.
The
Because
nuclear bomb.
when you
is
think about it,
horrible.
like, okay, so most like billionaires, right? Like they could be doing all the good in the world, but they choose to hoard it, right? They choose to do what's good for them, what's good for their lives, but they don't necessarily care what's happening to the people, as lack of a better phrase, below them.
below them is the perfect
Right?
perfect way to phrase it, because there, whether we like it or not, there is like some semi-class system in which
There
there's
is.
the wealthy elite, the gremlins beneath them, 50 feet of shit, and then there's us,
Right.
podcasters.
But yeah, podcasters are pretty low on the totem pole, I'd say. I mean, it probably goes like podcasters, the guy who works in the deli at Target, probably like maybe a farmer, and then maybe like a psychologist. And then after that is probably like, you can stop me anytime, is probably...
So think about it this way: have you ever been in a Target or a Walmart on Black Friday? People are evil.
Wow. Just like that.
Yeah.
I would also say, though, like, it depends on what your definition of evil is.
That is
right?
that's what I'm
So,
getting at.
like, what's good, what's evil? Is the person pushing down another guy to try to buy a flat screen TV evil? Or is he trying to get a good deal?
I've done that.
Yeah. Are you evil?
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense. That actually tracks. That makes a lot of sense. But, I mean, people aren't born... Like let's talk about serial killers. I don't think serial killers are necessarily born serial killers. I don't think those babies are born. I think they're developed based on their nurturing, their surroundings, their life experience, their world views, right? So you're born into certain circumstances, but you're not born a certain way. You're not born evil. You develop those tendencies based on your life experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the argument for nature versus nurture, and again, I'm not saying like I don't think your kid is going to be born evil,
Right. And I don't think so either.
but because people have choices and freedom to make decisions, I would say you'd probably see people more often than not skewing towards the evil option or the less good or the selfish option.
Maybe, but I would also say like again, the billionaires example, like they grew up in a place where they saw, like they most likely grew up rich, right?
Probably.
Because I feel like most people who were born poor and then became rich are probably more philanthropists, right? They're probably more likely to do good and to help people because they've been where those other people have been before. Whereas a lot of billionaires, like let's say Donald Trump, for example, or anybody like that, Jeff Bezos, I don't remember his background, whatever. People born...
Bald.
Yeah, bald people. Those are evil. No, so people born in certain circumstances have seen how their parents, their idols, so to speak, their people who are setting an example for them have treated people, how they have acted, what their values are, and they have bestowed them onto these impressionable people to then grow up and do similar actions, which are perceived in your worldview as evil. But they are not inherently that way.
All right, I feel like when you're making it a binary of evil or good,
Right.
and you're taking the position that people are evil, you're you're painting me like I'm thinking like people are fucking animals and creatures.
So this guy sees the glass half empty. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, it's half
I mean,
full.
just
It's half full.
as like a general view of the population, I think like I'm less optimistic about it and more pessimistic about it.
Sure.
Because people are just fucking jerks to each other all the time.
Maybe. But
It's 2023 and there's like still an active like war zone, a country invading another country over what? if that's like not like a prime example of that, like people are fucking evil, people are the worst. Like what else can you show me?
Right, but it's only a small amount of those people doing that. It's not like that. It's not like all of Russia is evil.
No, all of Russia is absolutely
It's like
not
the people
evil.
who are in charge making those decisions. There's many good, innocent people falling victim to those things, right? But it's not necessarily, they're not part of that evil. I mean, ultimately, it's a silly question, right? It's a way to see how you view the world, right? I like to see the good in people, generally. I trust people maybe a little too much. I do.
That's funny because I feel like in some circumstances it's kind of flipped because I feel like I'm more trusting of the average person than you are.
You're just gullible.
Do you remember when that guy at the Best Buy wanted
Yes.
help and you like immediately turned him down?
Let's,
Evil.
Let's turn the clock back to episode 1.
That's evil. Whereas I was just trying to be a good person.
That's
I
true.
might see people as more evil, but I do like still try to be good myself.
Wow.
I do try to hope that other people can be good. But time and time again, everyone fails me. For example, you guys don't pay us enough money.
Yeah. What the hell's that about?
Evil. Sound off in the comments if you're good or evil. We'll make a poll.
Yeah.
Just people self-report.
Yeah, just self-report whether you're good or bad.
Evil. Not good or bad, good or evil.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real, though. People aren't put in one box or another.
Yeah.
It's all gray.
It is
You
very
know,
gray.
everything's a gray area. Everyone has choices, you know? And you might make a good choice, you might make a bad choice. That doesn't make you good or you make you bad, you know?
You want to hand me your phone so I can tell you all about this fun, cute little story I found?
You found a fun, cute little story?
Fun, cute little story. It's time for bizarre news.
Bizarre news.
So everyone's heard of the cocaine bear, right?
Yeah.
Get ready for cocaine pussy.
What?
So, and here's great evidence supporting the fact that I think people are evil.
Okay.
So, this happened in Ohio. This happened in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
As a former Ohio resident.
With an East Coast accent.
It's closer to the East Coast than we are right now.
That's true.
So, people were reporting that there was this big-ass cat that was in a tree.
Okay.
They're like, hey, there's this cat that's in the tree. So these people in Cincinnati, they called the feds.
They called the feds. Hey, there's a cat in a tree.
They called
Get the feds.
They call the authorities. The authorities come out. Animal welfare department, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I don't even know. For some reason, I'm blanking on the term.
Animal control.
Animal control. They come out.
Animal welfare department.
They try to get this highly agitated, highly upset cat from out of this tree.
Yeah.
And so I guess at one point they like bring in an expert to determine like what kind of cat it is, because I think
Okay.
people were thinking it's like a cougar
Oh.
or a jaguar.
Then they should get away from it. Wait, a jaguar in Ohio? Only Ohio people would think that's a possibility.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't just a regular cat. It wasn't a mountain lion.
What was it?
It was a serval.
A what?
A serval.
What's a serval?
A serval is a type of cat.
No shit. Is it like related to like a lynx or like something like that?
I mean, it looks.
Let me see.
It looks.
Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like.
Let me Google serval to tell you exactly what it is.
It looks to me, based on that small photo you just showed me of the cat in the tree, it looks like if like an above average house cat
In what
made
in what
love
statistic?
with a maybe like a cougar or some sort of larger cat, like a lynx or a cougar or maybe like a red panda.
So it's an African wildcat.
Whoa.
So it kind of looks like an ocelot, but yeah, it's from Africa. So this is like an exotic animal. It's illegal to have in Ohio. But so they get the cat, apparently fell out of the tree, unfortunately.
Oh no, was it okay?
It's healthy. It's doing well now.
Thank goodness.
But they tested it for narcotics.
Why? Why?
The why is really wild. But so they test it for narcotics and find out that it had ingested or was exposed to cocaine.
What is going on here?
And so naturally, like Elliott did, you ask, why are they drug testing
Why?
this serval?
Like, I would just assume that it's just had a bad day. It was just stuck in a tree. Obviously, it's going to act a little erratically.
Yeah. So here's why they started. Here's why they
Okay.
started testing for it. So they started testing exotic animals
Yeah.
because last year they had an incident in which they caught a capuchin monkey
Oh.
who had tested positive for methamphetamine. So now it's become part of their policy is if they catch an exotic animal, like a monkey or a serval, that they're going to test it to see if it's been exposed to any narcotics. Because,
What?
and this is just a good train of thought, someone who owns an exotic animal is probably doing some fucked up shit.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, look at Tiger King, right?
Exactly.
I mean, they're probably on meth. And then I was just about to say, like, who's giving these animals drugs? Like, but I think your line of thinking is probably correct, where if you're the type of person who's going to have an exotic animal, and one thing, if it gets loose, that means you're probably not taking care of it very well. So if you're the type of person to, one, get an exotic animal, and two, not take care of it very well, you're probably doing meth or cocaine.
Exactly. So the good news is the serval is now at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Oh.
He's healthy. He's being taken care of. Apparently his former owner was very cooperative, so it's not
Okay.
they're not saying that like the guy or gal intentionally gave the serval
Right.
cocaine.
Right.
It's nothing.
Obviously, they wouldn't, because people are, obviously, good. So they wouldn't want to give the serval cocaine.
Yeah.
They just happened to leave an 8-ball out on the table, and the serval was just kind of sniffing around and thought it was a candy.
And it's not clear yet if the person's been charged for having cocaine, for possession.
I think that's probably hard to prove. Like, okay.
Well, I guess if
Right.
the cat escaped,
if they
maybe
didn't
he just,
find any on him and
Yeah.
the cat was on cocaine, he can be like, I don't know where he got the cocaine. Ask him.
maybe he happened upon a stash.
Yeah, maybe he
Cocaine.
was just sniffing around old Cincinnati. He was under the big bridge, and he found some coke.
Yeah.
Could happen.
But here's one part I forgot to mention. Doesn't really matter. The serval before going up the tree had torn apart 3 children.
No. No, it didn't.
Loved your reaction. No.
That would be awful. That would be like, yeah, that would be really bad. That would, I would imagine they probably wouldn't have kept the serval alive if that were the case.
Yeah.
Does it have a name?
Yeah, it did. It's like Amiri, I think.
Amiri?
Yeah.
I wouldn't name my serval Amiri.
Of course you wouldn't.
I would name it like Cornelius or something. Something sick.
And your serval would be beaten up by other servals that actually have cool, badass names. Like
Yeah.
Amiri.
What?
Yeah, it's a cool name.
Okay, Amiri's a cool name.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's all we have time for.
that's it.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Last episode of
It's-
Impossibly
That's it.
Unremarkable.
I mean,
We're
it's
done.
done. It's over.
We hope this was worth it.
I hope you guys are happy with yourselves,
Yeah. Fuck
because
y'all.
you've caused us
See you
so much
next week.
stress, giving us zero money. So we're poor, we're stressed, we're dying, and our billionaire overlords, who are inherently evil, are trying to keep us down. So we're just soon just gonna crumble and crawl into a dirt cave and just live there for the rest of our life. You'll never hear from us again.